let's look at what we've learned from this war. What have we actually learned? That if you attack Iran, you can kill a leader, you can kill the top brass. But the reality is, Iran have a stranglehold on the world's economy because of the Strait of Hormuz. They can close it down like that just through one drone attack. So the reality is, unless you are going to commit to putting boots on the ground in order to try and get rid of the leadership, you are not going to get rid of them through airstrikes. They're too entrenched. It's not going to happen. And by the way, the moment you do that, that doesn't only affect Iran, that doesn't only affect the Middle East, it affects every single country in the world. And also as well, you look at those Middle Eastern countries, they're now more fearful of Iran because the UAE and other countries are looking at Iran and going, well, if we antagonize them in any way, they're going to lash out like they lashed out before. Iran, you could argue in some ways, have come out of this stronger than they went in because they've got some very powerful cards to play. They have played them, and they have played them in a very effective manner. And there's been a lot of bluster from Trump and the Republican Party in America flexing of the muscles. But it's like I was talking to you. It's kind of like a UFC match where Iran have got the opponents in a chokehold and the opponents are punching them in the head, but they're still in a chokehold. And there's no letting go.
Yeah. That's the way it looks at the moment. Now, obviously, it can change day to day, but I just see, I think there came a point when I just stopped listening to what the administration was saying, to be honest, because every day it was like a new thing. And clearly it's designed for misdirection and, rah, 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 cheering the war on. As I look at it, as we sit here today, end of May, it's been 3 months. I don't think, as we sit here today, there's any evidence at all that clearly you're not going to get regime change, which is one of the things that people talked about, right? Ted Cruz wanted that. He talked about this on our show. Yeah. That's not going to happen. Let's be honest. Is their ballistic missile program going to be, okay, some of it's been destroyed, but are they going to have a ballistic missile program after this war ends? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Are they going to have a nuclear program? We don't know. That's what's being negotiated, but I don't see why they'd let it go. Because one of the things you've got to remember, right? Yes, the US is also blockading the Strait. Yes, that's hurting Iran. Yes, that's hurting China, blah, blah, blah. But Iran have every incentive to hold on for dear life because the longer this goes, the more desperate the Americans become. That's just a fact. Yeah. That is the fact of this process. And so they're not rushing into anything. And of course, they want to come away from this with some elements of their nuclear program intact. And now they also have, at least in their own mind, but also in the minds of other neutral countries, the legitimacy to take more control over the Strait of Hormuz. And as you say, to keep a chokehold or to threaten to have a chokehold on the global economy through that. And so, one of the things that was very clear to us from our US trip, and we can't talk about the conversations we had because they were had in private, but it became very clear to us that the administration made these decisions not as part of a big vision and strategy, but as a much more of an instinctive, we did Venezuela, we got Maduro, now let's do this, we're on a roll here. That literally is the way people in the administration told us it was made. That's what we know. Right? It's not something we've just made up. There was no strategy. And I'm afraid I want America to come out of this and the rest of the West to come out of this with a great result. And Iran should not be allowed to get nuclear weapons. It should not.
Agreed.
But at the same time, I think if you look at where we are today, it seems to me very unlikely that any of those objectives are going to be fulfilled. And the damage that will have been done to the world economy is going to be significant. It already is significant.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند